I now have the pleasure of sitting down again with Nick. You're like a regular in my little...
Again, you sounded...
Yeah, but it's a good thing, it's a good thing. But you are like a regular in my little media tent.
On the rotation.
I'm pretty sure you were here for the first sofa, the second sofa, which was last year.
Yeah.
And now we have...
The sofa's gone.
We have a bar and stools.
Yeah, there's no booze or anything behind
There's no booze just yet. It is early though, Nick.
It is very early.
It's 10 a.m. We don't need any booze yet.
Fair enough.
But we do have ashtray, and we're not sitting on top of each other, because I felt like on the sofa you're a bit like...
Yeah.
You know, so we've changed
bit friendly
it up.
that was.
Yeah, it was a bit friendly. So we've changed it up. We have bar this year. But Nick has a very busy year coming up, so I thought I would grab him for the chance for a 10-minute chat about what he is up to this year. So take the floor, Nick.
Yes, thank you, Kelly. It's always nice to be with you.
Thank you.
Spend some time with you, and here at Ignite. Yeah, it is a busy time. I was just talking to somebody indoors and they said, right, are you on to book 3? You know, but as soon as one comes out, people say, when's the next one?
I was going to ask that, but he's
like,
already addressed it.
But it's, you know, you sort of climb the mountain in writing the book and getting it out, and then of course you have to promote it and push it and sell it, and that involves going around talking to people and doing your bit to help the retailers, which is partly why I'm here today. But I was just chatting to you earlier about what we could talk about, and one of the things I think has really changed the industry in the UK in particular is the cigar event, which a few years ago wasn't really a thing. No. You know, people would have a get-together once in a while, but the official, formal cigar event wasn't really a thing.
It's a big deal now.
And now it keeps the industry going.
It's a big deal.
You know, every week across the UK, there's probably a couple of dozen events going on, some of which involve makers, some of which involve distributors, some of which involve ambassadors who come along and talk about the cigar that you're going to smoke or the accessory that you're going to use. And that's how people reach out to the public now. And I know it's a big part of what Tor does. And I've sort of piggybacked on that on several events because you guys distribute my book for me.
We do.
Thankfully, and of course, you know, if Alfonso's doing an event somewhere and I can also be there, I think it helps him. It's nice for him to have a partner in crime to hand over to. It makes it more interesting if more than one person is talking at you, and you can have a bit of a conversation as opposed to me standing in front of an audience. But the ability to meet the people that buy your stuff, whatever it might be, is actually really important.
Yeah, of course it is.
And they can ask you questions, those burning questions that they would like to ask you and never thought they'd get the chance. And it actually is always, I haven't been to a bad event. It's always nice to meet people and get to talk to them, and you come away always thinking what a great business we're involved in, you know. And so that's a big part of selling the books, because I talk about the book, maybe I read a little bit, I talk about the charity. It's the one time I get to talk about that side of it, which is very important to us. And it tends to, you know, when you talk about the book, how did you do it? What do you write about? What was it like when you did this? What was your favourite cigar? Are the questions I get. But it's actually sometimes not easy to remember to talk about one of the reasons I did it in the first place, which was to support Fe y Alegría.
Which is very close to Tor's heart also.
And in a kind of, Scott and I formed that idea together in 2017-18 when we first went there. And we were both very moved, and at one point, having went to this school and seen these beautiful kids and what they were making of their lives, and how little you could see how a little bit could help them so much. We came out, and at one point he looked at me and I looked at him, and we both had to walk in opposite directions.
It's emotional.
Because we were really moved by it, and so we more or less started to draw up plans then about what little bit we could do that you knew would go a long way out there. And since we've done that, I mean, through my books alone, I think we've raised over £10,000, and I know Scott's built the sewing room. And he was lucky enough to get there last year when I was in Nicaragua, but I was busy doing something else, and hand a cheque over to the school, which must have been amazing. So
it's nice every year when the tour tourists get back from the tour. I obviously get sent the contents of the videos and the photos and stuff, and every time I look through the photos and videos, there's not a dry eye in there. Like
you can see those,
even the manliest of men. They're brought to tears.
You can see like the Adam's apples.
It's such an emotional thing, and I think last year Steve Johnson from Robert Graham went. and his video, he actually talks about it over the official school video that I had as the content. And he even says when he's talking about it, he was like, I'm getting emotional. I'm getting emotional now, yeah. He's like welling up. So yeah, everything you do, like through your book and through the fundraising for that school, is just incredible. Like, it's stuff that, like you said, we all forget to talk about enough. Like, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Yeah, we don't talk about it enough. But yeah, they're very much, you know,
I kind of, part of me is very British about it, and you know, you don't talk about charity. You know, if you give to charity, it's silent.
Yeah.
But of course, that's all well and good, and that's right. You know, you don't boast about doing things for charity. But if people don't know about the charity,
well, this is it.
They don't know why you're doing it.
Yeah. You don't want to look like you're boasting. Oh, I do.
I've done all it. No, it's not about
that. But
no.
It's not about that. No, it's more to say like we actually this exists.
Look
and
what we can do,
and we can support it together, because it's not just tour. It's like your book. It's our customers. It's our retailers. Like all of that ends up in a bigger pot, and that's what I mean. The consumer probably doesn't even know that when they buy a tour cigar.
And that's the point.
Yeah.
And without preaching, they should know that.
Yeah.
So at the very least, they know where some of their money is going.
Yeah.
But even in this conversation, we've been talking about the book and the charity in this school, but we haven't explained what it is to somebody who doesn't know.
Yeah.
So let me just quickly do that. It's the Fe y Alegria School is a Christian school in Esteli, where very poor kids get the opportunity to attend school on a sort of scholarship basis, and it's in the poorest part of town, and you know, it is a very poor area. The kids tend to leave school at 12 or 13 because they have to go to work to support their families, and of course at that age they're not worldly wise, they don't have enough education, enough street smarts. They can get involved in gangs, they can get involved in drugs, they can get involved underage pregnancies, and the cycle just keeps going round and round and round.
Yeah.
So the thought is to try and keep them in school as long as possible, and even if that's another 6-12 months, every bit makes a huge difference in their chances to make a better lives for themselves. So the school relies on donations. I know that the cigar community does a lot. Hoya de Nicaragua are very closely involved with that, and it was through them that Scott and I first went there and were moved, like we said. And so a little bit out there goes a very, very long way. You know, when you see what these kids have, they were so proud of this little playground they had when they showed us.
They look so happy to see you, and you all
They were just like big smiles. They were immaculate uniforms, beautiful kids, like jet black hair, lovely skin. They were smiley, happy children.
Yeah, it looks like a lovely place.
And they had this playground which would have been like, you know, shut down if it was over here. The rusty stuff, and we just looked at each other. Crikey, how hard could it be to get a new swing here and a new? And that's how it starts. And to be able to, you know, do things like they put in audio visual suites and things. I mean that just blows my mind. So that's what it's about. That's, you know, part of the reason we do what we do, and it's part of the industry that we're involved in particular in the New World, that they give back to their community. There is a great sense of social responsibility, and they provide, you know, creches and surgeries in the factories so that they get health care, and
that's incredible.
You know, that is a big deal, and we should make a noise about that.
No, I know, it's good, and I'm pleased we mentioned it, because it's something, like you said, that we don't talk about enough. We share our video once a year from the tour, so I've got another one from this year that we've shared. And again, like every year, they're emotional, but again, the kids are really happy, and you can see stuff that, you know, I keep saying we, as in like the royal we of tour, but we, I mean as in
we
like
as a
you,
community.
as in the retailers, as in customers, as in as in anyone that buys a cigar from tour or from our, you know, what we import. It all comes into the pot.
And I think that's part of it, is the we thing, because we do feel like a group, you know, as a whole. And I think we're more powerful because of that. And I think most of us are, you know, thinking the same sort of way about things. And as you say, you know, we talk about, you come away from that and that one video, and then we go off talk about sizes, we talk about new lines, we talk about, and we forget about the foundation.
So the purpose of this entire video now is that I need to move my camera in. No, it's that, yeah, thank you basically for supporting us and supporting.
You know, when you buy a cigar, you do it because you like to try it and you enjoy cigars, but also know that a little bit of that money that you spent on that cigar is going to a very, very worthy cause. So we're very grateful to you.
Oh, what a nice conversation, Nick. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Well, I guess we'll go and smoke some more cigars.
Why not?
Thank you.